have achieved so much success. Although all the pressure in the world is on us, I can achieve success as well. Who do you think of when you think of someone who is successful? Do you think of a famous sports star who has won multiple medals and trophies? Do you think of an executive who has lots of power and influence on a large corporation? Or do you think of a singer or actor who has appeared in multiple films or who has sold millions of records? Fame, influence, wealth, accomplishments, and talents. These are the things that we think of when it comes to success, and it's how the world measures our success and our value. The term for success in our culture today is making it, although all the pressure in the world is on us to achieve success, or else we're a failure. But how does God define success? His definition for success is much different than the world's standards. Instead of wealth and influence, God sees following His will for our lives as successful. In our culture today, we may point to a well-known athlete or executive and say, they have achieved so much success. If I work as hard as they do, I can achieve success as well. Hard work and dedication go a long way in becoming successful, but have you ever thought who gave them their success? It was God. Every talent we have been given has been graciously given to us by God. God wants us to use those talents for a greater good and for His glory. In the story of Joseph, Joseph is a young shepherd who is hated by all of his brothers, but is loved and is his father's favorite child. In Genesis chapter 37, Joseph is sold into slavery by his brothers and taken to Egypt. While he is in Egypt, he is purchased by Potiphar, who is the captain of the guard for Pharaoh. Genesis 39 verse 2 states, "The Lord was with Joseph, so he succeeded in everything he did as he served the home of his Egyptian master." Joseph's master Potiphar even noticed his success and left him in charge of everything he had. Joseph 39 verse 6 states, "So Potiphar gave Joseph complete administrative responsibility over everything he owned. With Joseph there, he didn't worry about a thing, except what kind of food to eat." At the end of Genesis 39, Joseph finds himself in prison at no fault of his own. Genesis 39 verses 19 through 23 read, "Potiphar was furious when he heard his wife's story about how Joseph had treated her. So he took Joseph and threw him into the prison where the king's prisoners were held, and there he remained. But the Lord was with Joseph in the prison and showed him His faithful love. And the Lord made Joseph a favorite with the prison warden. Before long, the warden put Joseph in charge of all the other prisoners and over everything that had happened in the prison. The warden had no more worries because Joseph took care of everything. The Lord was with him and caused everything he did to succeed." Joseph first becomes a slave and then a prisoner. In both situations, the Bible states, "The Lord was with Joseph and gave him success in everything he did." In both situations, Joseph is in less than ideal circumstances, but Joseph remains faithful and obedient to God. And because of this, God uses Joseph for His plan and for a greater purpose. While in prison, Joseph interprets the dreams of Pharaoh's chief cupbearer and chief baker. Joseph asks the chief cupbearer to remember him, but he completely forgets about Joseph, and 2 years go by. However, Joseph continues to remain faithful and obedient to God. 2 years later, the chief cupbearer remembers Joseph and gets Joseph in front of Pharaoh, where Joseph interprets the dreams of Pharaoh. Joseph is able to interpret Pharaoh's dream, and he is made a leader in Egypt. Joseph's interpretation of the dream comes true, and he is able to save Egypt from many years of famine. While Joseph is a leader in Egypt, the Bible does not state that Joseph had success like in the other situations. This may be because anyone who read about Joseph would clearly know that Joseph had success as a leader in Egypt, but he had success in the eyes of the world. God's definition of success is not always glamorous or impressive. It doesn't look like medals, trophies, or expensive homes. It may look like working a boring job and living below your means. No matter what situation you find yourself in today, I encourage you to do your best and to be obedient to God, and you will have God's definition of success. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this video encouraging.